Well, hello guys, how ya doing? I'm back at it again. Same setup, same lighting thing. We're gonna do a bit of a makeup tutorial, more of a get ready with me, because I wanted to go through everything I have from Glossier. I get a lot of requests to do Glossier tutorials or talk about Glossier or do a Glossier haul. So I'm kind of gonna do an amalgamation of all of those things. I'm just gonna throw all of those ideas in one. This is gonna be just like a Glossier talk with a get ready with me and kind of first impressions, because I just got the cloud paint, the new blush, and I've also never used the skin tint before, so we're gonna kind of talk about those things. And then I also have some old standards that I've used for a while. So the first thing that I will do, since we're doing a full Glossier video, I'm going to prime my face. This is the Priming Moisturizer Buildable Hydrating Cream. The thing about most Glossier products, which I think you're gonna find me saying a lot throughout this review, is that I feel like Glossier products are targeted towards people that don't have a lot of acne and have dry skin. I don't feel like Glossier is very good at targeting people who have very oily skin or acne prone skin, which is interesting because I feel like a lot of the people that buy Glossier are a bit younger. So in my eyes, I would think that they would focus on acne prone skin, but they seem to kind of defer from that. It's not a lot about hiding things, it's about like accentuating natural features, if that makes sense. And that's why I like them. But sometimes I really hate Glossier when I have acne. I actually have a little spot right here that will kind of be a good indicator for you guys. So I'll show you, once we get into like the foundations and stuff, what I think about coverage as far as Glossier goes. But starting off, primer. You can kind of tell I've used a bit of this. I like this stuff. It doesn't have a typical primer feel to it. It's not like a very silicone-y primer. It legitimately just feels like a moisturizer. So when I put it all over my face, it's almost like I wish that I could put kind of like a poreless primer on top of this. Most of the time when you're using a primer, you use it so that things don't move around. But this is like a moisturizer. It's not necessarily something that I feel like locks things in place. But it also keeps you looking way more dewy than like a poreless primer would. So I also kind of consider Glossier like a summer brand because a lot of this is stuff that I feel like I would wear to the beach, wear to places that I wouldn't want to wear a lot of makeup because it's, you know, out and about. You don't want like tons of stuff clogging your pores. Glossier is great for that. And I'm just gonna do this like really cute bang separation thing so that we can do our makeup today, and then I will look normal in a second, so just like bear with me. But even now you can see I have an artificial light kind of like lighting me a bit over here, and you can see the shine that it just gives my skin, just the primer to begin with. Granted, it says it's priming moisturizer, so it's not supposed to be like a very silicone-y primer, but that's just something good to keep in mind. It is very moisturizing. So now that we have done that, I'm gonna go in with the Perfecting Skin Tint. I got this in light because I'm a very pale kid. I really like the packaging. I think this is very cute. I don't know how much product you actually get in here. I think it's 1 fluid ounce, 30 milliliters. So it's a good amount. At least it's not like dishonest, like a lot of huge big foundations that have like a lot of packaging. It looks like you get a lot and you typically get about this amount. So I'm gonna take this giant slab of rose quartz because I am a fucking hipster, and I'm going to put my foundation on here before I apply it with a beauty blender, or actually a Real Technique sponge. Yeah. I got this because I wanted to use it as a palette for my makeup. Okay, moving on. So I'm just gonna put my foundation on here and then apply it. Yay! Oh, it's so liquidy. Ugh.
Yeah, it is.
Gross. Keep it to yourself. So that is a very, very liquidy foundation. I don't even want to tilt it because I feel like it's just gonna slide right off the palette. But I'm gonna go in with my sponge. I also just realized that since this is such a liquidy foundation, your best bet is probably to apply this with your fingers because the sponge is just gonna absorb all of it. But I kind of just wanna see how it operates with the beauty blender and see how it goes. And let's just, let's see how this goes. Okay, so I just started this off. Can you already see how shiny this is? This is the dewiest fucking foundation I've ever seen. This is like a tinted moisturizer. This is not a full foundation. Also, I don't know if you can tell right here where my little zit is. there is no coverage on the actual pimple. So if you have any kind of acne, this is not going to cover you at all. This is for those people that have flawless beyond flawless skin. I actually gave my little sister a set of Glossier stuff and I sent her this skin tint. So I need to see what she thinks about it because she has very sensitive skin, but it's not acne prone. So I'd love to see how she handles it. Wow, okay, so my first instinct after applying this is that I immediately want to put powder all over this. This is like too dewy for me, okay? Too rich for my blood. I need that matte face. But we've still also got a highlighter to put on, and I feel like I could not put a highlighter over this or it would look like nuts. So let's see what we can do with this. It's gonna look a little different on camera, but in real life, it makes your skin look like it's your skin, but just like a notch better. It doesn't necessarily look like I'm wearing makeup. It just looks like any kind of like discoloration or redness that I would typically have is kind of gone, but not any pimples. So I'm guessing what their solution to that is, they give you a very simple foundation and then they give you a concealer that is supposed to kind of be like, you know, the added extra if you have acne or something. So let's talk about the concealer. This stuff, oh my God, I'm ready for you. This is the Stretch Concealer. I love this stuff. I use this for foundation every day. I don't wear foundation. I only use this concealer because it acts to me like my perfect foundation would. It's very moisturizing. It's very kind of brightening because it has almost like a peachy tint. This is the light one, so it's gonna be a little bit pale on most people, but I am a pale person, so this works perfectly for me. And I don't know if you can tell, but I've put like a good dent in this because I use it every single day. Big thing about this, same thing with the skin tint, it is so moisturizing that if you didn't set this, your face would just be sliding around if you even go out in the sun for a second. Like, you need to set this. The big thing that I like about this is that it's great for your under eyes. It makes my under eye look so bright and nice, and that's wonderful. You also, once again, have to set it super quickly because it will make all of your under eye lines so emphasized if you don't blend it out really well and then immediately put powder over it. But once again, if you have super dry skin, this is perfect for you because it will not patch up, it will not cling to dry spots. It's just gonna moisturize your under eye. And I think, like, in some weird way, I also think it's kind of good for my eye because it is very moisturizing, and like I use a lot of eye creams and stuff, so I'm all about like an extra moisturizing step. You know, if you want a matted down pimple that doesn't look like a peak or hold any shine, this is not going to be the product for you. I use this because a lot of times my pimples will kind of get dried out and crusty, and then if you put something over it like this, it's helpful because it kind of like breaks down that scabbiness a little bit, which is maybe the grossest thing I've ever said on my channel, but whatever. It's great for that. It's not so great for brand new pimples that have like a shiny white head on them. This is gonna just emphasize that kind of like peak, if you know what I mean. It doesn't make the pimple like blend into your skin very well. Here's my little pimp. And this guy's not too, you know, in your face or on my face. So it's not gonna be too hard to cover, but you do have to go in and kind of like lightly cap off the work that you do on your pimple. It's a bit of artistry when it comes to this concealer. And even then, there's still a bit of color coming through that you can see, and that's just not gonna go away with this concealer. If you start trying to build it up more and more, it's gonna get kind of like the edges around the pimple are concealed really well, and then kind of the red head isn't going to be concealed. So you're better off just putting like a light layer on and then powdering with a powder that maybe has a little bit of tint into it or something like that, and then you're fine. So now I'm going to move on to cloud paint. I have, like I said, tried Puff just a little bit, but I haven't tried Dusk at all, and I have an interesting idea for it. So I'm gonna start with Puff and then get into this guy. So first off, how fucking cute is this packaging? It's like you get a little acrylic or oil paint tube. It's so awesome. One thing I did realize about this when I first started using it is that it's incredibly pigmented. It actually does kind of work like a paint. So if you're gonna use this as a blush, definitely light hand because it is very pigmented. It's a bright blush. It's It's beautiful, it's very angelic, and I really like it. Also, stop, how cute is that together? Rose quartz and puff, I'm interested. So I'm going to put a tiny little dot of this on here. Let's see. There we go. And literally that tiny dot could cover my entire face. It's that pigmented. I will show you. So I'm gonna put a little bit on here, a little bit more on here. I'll blend out this side first. Then pop on over here. I love the way this blush looks. It's natural, it's cute. It makes me feel like a schoolgirl. It makes me look youthful and glowing. I'm into that. It's so blendable. I don't know if it's the fact that I used a moisturizing primer and like the most moisturizing foundation ever before this, but I think the entire system of Glossier blends together really well. That is a beautiful color. I don't know how well you can see it IRL, but it's just a like very soft halo pink. It's nothing crazy, it's just a little color. As for dusk, I have not used this before. It reminds me more of like a terracotta sunset type vibe, which I love, but I'm going to try to use this kind of on the backs of my cheeks back here, maybe to even provide like a tiny bit of contour just because this is a bit darker, and just to kind of like add some dimension to my cheeks. So let's give it a go. A little dollop on there, hey. This blush was the first thing that I saw of all the cloud blushes that I was like, I need that, that looks awesome. It's very like nude, bronzy toned. Like if you had a deeper skin tone, I feel like this would just look like a too light and pink foundation. But maybe if you had more like yellow undertones to your skin, this would be really nice. Let's see what this looks like just on my pale ass mug. Oh girl. I mean, it looks like I just like contoured my cheek. I don't know if you can see that. But if I just put it right in the hollows, like, yeah, I'm into that. I really like that. I really like really natural looking makeup. So this is interesting to me because I don't like super harsh contour, and I find that I always get like a contour stripe. So maybe if you have really pale skin, dusk could be like an interesting contour color for you. I'm just gonna do the same thing over here. I super duper love that. Second thought I had with this blush was that I kind of want to use it for eyeshadow. So I'm going to try that out and see what it looks like. I don't have a primer on my eyes, which kind of blows, but I'm going to powder it afterwards. So hopefully I can like set it in place and make it look nice. But this is kind of like a stain or like a foundation. Like it's a very opaque color. So I'm hoping that it will settle down on my eyes nicely and not crease too much. Let's see. Also, maybe I should, can I do a zoom in thing? No. Can I? Oh, hey. Hi. Thought I'd come a bit closer. Hey, how you doing? Already though, can you see on my eyelid, there's a line where my concealer has already creased completely. That is what I'm talking about when I'm saying that it is so creamy, it will crease on you immediately. Okay. This, honestly, on camera, you're probably like, why is she so excited about this? But legitimately, in person, I'm like, oh, stunning. It's a new look. I love it. Wow, I kind of really like that. I feel like I emphasized my eye color in like a really soft way with that. And I gotta say, I'm a big fan of putting that on my eyes. I really like the way that looks. I'm big into that. Another thing about Glossier that is maybe slightly annoying to some people, they have an eyeliner, they don't have a mascara. as far as I know. I don't know if they're in development to make a mascara, but they don't have one. So if you were trying to do an entire face with Glossier, you would not be able to do your eyelashes. So now that we've kind of taken a detour to eyes, why don't we talk about boy brow? Because that's a fun one. This, I feel like, is what they are known for. This is like the thing that Glossier makes, other than their Halo Scope highlighter, which I feel like is also really popular. Boy brow is just like universally good because it's just the easiest brow gel ever. It reminds me of like an Anastasia brow gel or something like that, but it's very small. Look how tiny this is. So it's great for like portable travel. It almost seems like it's a tester size of something, even though it's full price. And I like that it's called boy brow because it does kind of just make your eyebrows look bushy and natural and youthful, like a young schoolboy. So that's fun. Okay, so let me show you the wonder of the boy brow. I mean, you've probably seen this before, but let's get into it. I'm just going to apply this upward in little mini strokes, like this. I find that if you really wiggle it down at the base, you can kind of like tint your skin as well as your brows, so you get a nice color. So it's almost like you're using a pencil as well, but it's just the tint. Like here, I'm kind of like really digging in on the edge so I can get some color laid down. Like more color up front and then blending towards the back. Let the eyebrows dry. Now we have eyes, cheeks, brows, done, skin, done. The one thing that we don't have on our face that's not done is highlighter. So let's talk about Glossier's like standout product. I think this was the first thing I ever saw of Glossier, and this is the Halo Scope. Mine is a dirty mess because I've traveled with it so much. This was like my favorite highlighter at the end of last year. The idea of the Halo Scope is that it has this little ring that you can hopefully see of like pale product around it that's kind of like champagne-y, and then the center of it is almost like an oily gel that kind of provides shine. So it's supposed to be really hydrating, as per usual. Thanks Glossier for making everything so hydrating. Also, it's gonna add a bit of shine, not only from probably like the mica that's in this kind of champagne-y part, but also the gloss in the middle is gonna make your cheeks like shine like a disco ball. It's great. And I typically don't apply this directly stick to skin. I like to put it on my fingers and then blend it. I just feel like it goes a bit more natural. Even then, you can kind of see a bit of that shine there. Very nice. And then I'm just gonna also take just a little bit on the bridge of my nose and my Cupid's bow. Okay, so that's with Halo Scope on. Things are flashy and blingy right now. One thing I am gonna do just to kind of like maybe take things down a notch is I'm gonna go back in with Dusk and kind of carve out my nose on the sides a little bit. Since I already kind of successfully did a little bit of contouring here, I'm gonna put a little bit down here just to see what happens. It's still a blush, so it's got a little bit of redness, but it almost looks kind of natural on my skin because I do have natural redness pretty much everywhere. So now we have kind of put all of those different contour colors on. We've got highlighter, we've got eyes, we've got boy brow, we've got everything else done. The one thing that we really haven't tackled is lips. I have one of the Generation G lipsticks, and I like it. It's not like my favorite thing in the entire world, and I think it's also in my car, so I'm not gonna like particularly go over that. I have purchased, I think, all of the bomb.coms in the past. The two that I could find lying around the house, actually one of these I had been searching for so long. I've been looking for this for so long, and I found it for this video. I'm so excited. I'm gonna use this so much now. I like the coconut bomb.com. I will say one thing about this, like even just opening this, I could show it to you and you would know what I'm talking about. It bunches up, and I think it bunches up because it is also made with coconut oil. So I think whatever the ingredients are kind of separated in my tube, and when I squeeze it out, sometimes I get like a bit extra of coconut oil and not as much of like the actual substance of the lip balm, which can be annoying, but it's also super moisturizing. So I like this stuff. It also smells like the beach, which I don't know how anyone could be sad when they're putting things on their lips that smell like the beach. My favorite is the cherrybomb.com. I used this as a blush before the Cloud Paint blushes came out. Like before they even had talked about them, this is what I considered like a Glossier blush. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like a subtle rosy tint that you could put on your lips, you could put on your cheeks, pretty much anywhere. I'm just gonna use the coconutbalm.com to prep my lips, and then I'm just gonna use the rest of the Cloud Paint on my lips because I'm just gonna keep it kind of a terracotta warm face look, you know, and then I don't have to waste the Cloud Paint that I have on my palette. Now I'm going to take my dust and put it on my lips. Yes, this will be good. Ooh. So there is kind of the face, the very natural face. As you can see just from the natural light and kind of the unnatural light over here, it's so dewy. If you were in a studio and you were using lighting like you would on this side, you would look like a grease ball. If you're shooting in natural light, it'll look so beautiful, but I would definitely just be reminded of that. If you're gonna have like flash photography at an event or something like that, I wouldn't wear Glossier products unless you're gonna powder them heavily, but I think they're beautiful in real life. Anytime someone is like wearing something and I'm like, what is that on your skin? And they reply Glossier, I'm like, of course it's Glossier, because it just makes you look like naturally lit from within and beautiful. Let's try something weird. I'm going to curl my lashes and put a bit of the boy brow on my actual lashes. Let's just see if it tints at all or like if it does anything. I just want to kind of test this out. This is the equivalent of using like a clear mascara on your eyelashes, so maybe not the best idea. So now that we've done that, you can see the full face. It looks wonderful, very natural. Me personally, I would probably go in and use a little bit of eyeliner. I know that they have eyeliner already, but I've never tried it before, and it looks like a standard black eyeliner. It didn't really like pop out to me. So I could get that. They don't have a mascara, so I would apply mascara definitely afterwards. But I love this look. This is such a good look. It's natural, it's nice, it's light. I love it. All right, guys, I think we did it. That was such a long video, man. And listen, I'm not even getting paid to say any of this. This is just a shout out to Glossier big time. Definitely comment down below and let me know what you think about any of the products, what your favorites are, if you've tried any, what your least favorites are. Obviously, all of this is opinion, because if you had very dry skin, Glossier would be like your holy grail. And if you have really oily skin, you're probably like, no, no thank you. What's that about everything having oil in it? No, I'm good. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to the people who asked for this video, because I did get this requested quite a bit. Like, give us your opinion about Glossier. So thank you for letting me know what you want. If you have any other brands that you're like, oh, definitely try this out, just comment down below. I tend to really love to try out brands that do different things with their products. Like Milk Makeup has some really interesting stuff that I would love to try out, but I haven't really delved into their product line. So if like that's a company that you want me to look at, let me know. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And like I said, comment down below and let me know what you want to see next. And I will see you guys for the next video. Bye!